Hi everyone, my name is Jacek Szymański and I am director of Food and Tabletop Commercials. In my Foodloose podcast, I meet people who have a clear impact of the food film industry. They are masters at what they do. In this episode, Ronald Koetzier, one of the most experienced tabletop directors. Ronald has his own unique style. He's super sensitive to light, camera movement, and he has an appetizing attitude. We talk about preparation for shooting, difficulties and dependencies in client-agency relationship depending on what country you are shooting the commercial in. And we also talk about the fact that we are not afraid of AI and lots of other tabletop flavors. Enjoy. Yeah, it's working now. Okay. So we need to repeat it again because I forget to push the button to record.
Yes.
So let's do it again. Thank you very much, Ronald, for accepting the invitation to my podcast.
Okay, you're very welcome. Actually, I was waiting for your introduction about me. But okay, you probably do it afterwards.
Yeah, I will do it afterwards.
And now the piano music is starting.
And the piano music will start.
Let's
3,
go ahead.
2, 1, go. Yeah, you see the guy in the corner of your workshop.
Yes.
He's starting playing now. So we are before the dinner. So simply question on the beginning: what do you like to eat, and do you prefer Chinese or Thai food?
For me, I think when in Thailand you need to eat Thai food. That's absolutely. Although I like Chinese food a lot because they have all these weird things and strange things.
But so for you, Thai cuisine, they don't have this kind of stuff.
Well, that's not true. But actually there are markets here where they eat scorpions on a stick, worms.
Okay, cool.
But you have the same thing in China as well.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit hardcore.
Okay,
that's too much for me.
Okay, so when you compare these two markets, like China and the Thai, about the scorpions and all of that worms on the sticks, do you have your favorite flavors? Can we compare?
I think maybe Chinese. It's maybe a little bit more special with all the seaweeds and the mushrooms and. The real, not the Chinese that you can get in Europe. Although in some Chinatowns it's pretty good, but the Chinese in China is definitely different. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's tough sometimes. You see like full fish and sometimes you're with a group and they put like a hot pot in the middle and you need to put in there the shrimps that are still alive. You need to put them in there and they want to jump out and that's China. For us it's a little bit brutal, but
How do you think in our profession we should to be a little bit crazy about the food? What do you think?
No. I'm more a technical guy. No,
I don't think so because you explain it really tasty. What is the difference between those two markets?
Yeah, but because I like the different cultures and it's not so much about food. I like the different cultures, how people cook, how people live, how they behave. That I like, and food is of course a big part of it. But and of course I like nice food. But no.
Okay, the first question was asked because in our profession we fly a lot. So as I know, you like working in China. You have to tell me more about them because I'm very curious, but a little bit later. But now, we are in Friendly Chopstick Studio in Bangkok. I know your team. I have to admit that your hand is visible here. They understand tabletop very well. I feel supported by your team for sure. When you're shooting, what is it here in Bangkok that you can't find anywhere else in the world?
Well, I think the biggest difference is, of course, that you have 10 special effect guys here running around, and in Europe you have one, and if you're lucky you have two. Yeah. They're absolutely not the same level yet, or they, but still, when you do tabletop, you need hands, you need a lot of people helping, rigging, cleaning, and that works really well here.
They are not so good yet because they are young, because the studio is young.
No, that's a little bit. That's maybe unfair to say. Well, they just started.
I don't have this kind of feeling.
But my expectation is always very high. No, they're pretty good. Yeah. They're definitely pretty good. But no, it's a very funny team. But the thing is that you can experiment more here. Mm-hmm. I have more time. I have more hours in a day. I think it's standard hours is 16 here, while I was 4 weeks ago in Paris. It's 8 hours. So
8 hours.
Yes,
without overtime.
Well, and then and then I think 10 hours is already with overtime. So that's a big difference. And as well, with tabletop you need time.
Sure.
And here, if something doesn't work, then I can try something else, and still in the same day, or I start testing a day before. It's a little bit more flexible. And in Europe, or in other countries, you really need to do exactly what you want, or exactly what you know that works, because there's no time for failure. And that's a little bit the difference. So I do hear things that I experiment here. I do hear things never seen before, what everybody is always asking. Mm-hmm. But here I try something weird. And in Europe, there's not much time for it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So, what about the creativity of your team? They can give you some suggestions?
No. Well.
You know what I mean? Because I know. I think this is difficult to ask even them. Maybe sometimes it's good to ask them. Oh, guys, what do you think about this one? In other ways, are you open to ask them about the creativity or not?
Yes, I can ask them. Well, the thing is, as a director, you always need to be open for other departments. Otherwise, you can better do it yourself, and that's not good. You always want to have that extra 20, 30, maybe sometimes 50% of another department that adds to what you already know. So you need to be open for it. But
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
And of course, so if I hear something that is more interesting, then yes, I will adjust it, or I will listen to it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. When I work outside of my country, I always consider the cultural aspect of the client. Working for the clients, for example, Emirates or Vietnam is different than in Italy, Poland, and even different in America. When you go to shoot in a given country, do you change your attitude for the work because of the cultural difference of the client?
Well, not the attitude for the work, maybe the attitude to approach people, because I'm Dutch and I'm very direct. So I want to know if I ask a question, I want to know, is it yes or no? And especially in Asia, they always say yes, which is not the answer of the question you ask. So. But I learn myself that, you need to ask. Well, the first answer, yes, is like they understand the question, probably, and then you ask again, and then you might get the answer. So they're too polite. But maybe the Dutch are too rough, I don't know. But they're very polite, and they don't want to make you upset, so they say... Mm-hmm. Too easy, they say too easy, yes.
Yeah, but when you say they, what do you mean? Because I thought that, I'm just trying to compare two, I don't know how many, but different mentalities of the people all over the world. So all of them, they are polite for you?
No, that's the thing. Well, it's more the Asian style. They want to...
but if you're shooting, for example, in Sydney, in Australia, I have a feeling I never shoot there before. So if you compare with the Middle East, for example, do you see the difference with the approach for your work?
In Australia, they're very Western. very professional and very also very direct. And of course they speak English, which then communicate very well. That's sometimes also the problem in China or Vietnam, that it's lost in translation. So if you have that in the back of your head, that maybe some things are lost in translation, it will be fine. And if you ask it a few times, and if you know that they want to, well, please you is not the right word, but they are a little bit afraid to say no, then well, you can deal with it. It works. And it's also fun. It's also part of the culture.
It's always fun.
I enjoy it.
But in other hands, you need to be flexible. You need to understand, because if you change the place when you're shooting, you need to be flexible to adapt to this kind of culture.
Yeah, but they are willing, and they're trying. They're willing to change to my culture. They are willing to because I'm also a little bit of an example for them. So they like to learn. So they quickly try to follow me how I work. So that helps.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nice. So instead of I change my attitude for them, they change it to me. So that's quite nice. No, it all works well. It all works well. Yeah.
I don't know what your feeling is, but from my experience, I have noticed that the agencies, for example, in US and Europe, have a different approach than the agencies in Asia or the Middle East. Is it a matter of trust or different mentality? How do you feel? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think it depends on the brand, and it depends how big the brand is. If it's a big brand like
big global brand, you mean?
Big global brand, then it's like, because then they are working on that project already for many months and sometimes a year, and then it's all approved in all different layers, and then it's very detailed. Even also in China, sometimes I go in China to shoot for, what was it, Nestle, and I couldn't change anything because everything was already storyboarded for many months, and the agency that was with me on the set, they had to come back with that storyboard, so there was no way to change anything. But yeah, when you work in Thailand or when you work for India, and there's like small, or Pakistan, they're smaller companies, smaller brands, shorter communication lines, then it's not so fixed. Then you cannot do whatever you want, but there's much more creative freedom. But yeah, I don't see that much difference. I don't see that much difference. No, it's more about the big brands. Yeah, you have all these guidelines, and then I was working the last time also for a big brand, and I want to change something. No, it's impossible because according to the Google algorithm, it needs to be this shot first, and sometimes I feel I'm like a cameraman. I cannot change a thing, and I just need to make the images that the storyboard artist made 5 months ago, which is like a little strange angle. Come on, can we do it a little bit lower? It's much nicer, because usually the storyboard artist makes a very clear drawing that everybody understands it, and when you test
they want to the same
in 2 seconds, everybody. But let's make it a little bit more mysterious. No, it needs to be exactly the same. This is approved. This is tested. Yeah, so that's a frustration.
We say hi right now to Mateusz Pucienik, the very good tabletop, storyboarder. But what I want to say exactly, I have the same feeling, Ronald, because I remember I have one commercial with for the US market, and everything was prepared very well, and I did nice shot with the camera movements, so everything was great, and we had 1 hour more to do it more. And I asked the guy from the agency. It was like old guy from US. He came from LA, and I asked him, "Hey, maybe I will do something different, like here, blah 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 blah." And he asked me very, very gently, "What for? What for? Let's go forward. We have it. We don't need to practice now."
Well, sometimes when you are in edits, you can try things if you have more shots.
But you said me on the beginning of our conversation that you have a test day specially for the tests. Don't try anything on the shoot. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, but I did a jelly bean commercial for the US a few months ago. And it was like a family company. It was, and the communication was so direct. Everything was possible. No corporate big high decisions. No, it was like super much freedom. So yeah, it changes per client what is possible or not.
Okay, let's come back to the China topic now.
Oh yeah, the piano music is still playing.
Yeah, no, you don't hear?
Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
Okay, don't shoot the piano player.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to the topic of China. I never had the opportunity to work there, to be honest. Only Julian Hermansen, our bolt operator with whom I work a lot, keeps telling me a little bit story about the interesting situation in this country. So, what interesting things do you discover there?
I probably know the same stories as Julian because we work together a lot in China. Yeah, no. Well, the first time when I went there, I saw like a rickshaw, a bicycle with and they put all the lights in there, and I thought, well, that's like a grip truck. It's like it's amazing that they are very rough. They don't have any respect for equipment. And they were cleaning a vent, and there was dust on the center, and the vent was on the floor. It's so dirty, and that's like the opposite in Europe. If you go to a studio in Hamburg, for example, and it's so clean, it's perfect. There, they don't care. Probably they're all part of a rental company, and they're not freelance. In Europe, we have a lot of freelancers, and they look after their own equipment. There, they don't care. And that was the first thing I thought. Wow, is this China? It's so dirty.
So okay, but what is interesting for you when you're shooting there, for example? I'm asking as a director, what is different? What is
Well, okay. Now the first thing about shooting food all over the world, that everybody loves the same thing. Everybody loves the burger flipping or the hazelnuts falling into the chocolate and the ice cream. So scooping, that is like universal. That your brain is getting triggered, and that works all over the world. And that's why I can work all over the world, because I do that kind of stuff. But they do it slightly more aggressive. Rain.
It's rain.
This is rain. Yeah.
Really? Oh, I don't want to stop now.
When it rains, it rains. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it very well. So we are in the studio. So the roof is.
It's
like
a tin roof.
Tin roof. Aluminium. Yeah.
You cannot shoot sound here. No.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's usually like 5 or 10 minutes. Then,
okay.
It's the tropics, huh?
Yeah. Okay, it's rolling.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, can you stay a little bit closer?
Yeah. So the what I just said, that all over the world people like the same type of shots. So the same hazelnuts falling into the chocolate, the swirls, and that triggers the brain. The only thing in China, it's a little bit more extreme. I think if you watch Chinese movies, or it's always aggressive is not the right word, but it's always like more. And you see the same thing in commercial. We think it's a little bit weird, but they love it. And the first time I did a McDonald's there, I mean, in Europe we just bite a burger or a drumstick. They really round. They eat it very extreme, and they love it. So that's a little bit of cultural difference what we in Europe, it's more elegant, and there it needs to be big and fast and bigger and a bigger splash and an explosion, and that's the difference. Same shots, but more
dynamic.
More dynamic, yes. Yeah. If you watch TV, there is very loud, especially commercials. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's not subtle.
Even if you're on the street, I think you have the same. You will turn around and you can see
probably
so many noises around.
So many people, you need to shout to to get some attention.
You're right. Yeah, that's the point.
And funny is also there. I mean, now it's a little bit normal all over the world, but there I did a commercial a few years ago, and they said, well, yeah, it's a commercial and a good budget. No, it's not for TV. It's for social. It's for internet. I mean, my God, how can you spend so much money just for social? But young people there, they don't watch TV anymore. It's just on their phone and in the train and their displays everywhere, but not on TV anymore. Now, of course, we're used to it. That happens now everywhere in the world. Social things are becoming more important. But there, for me, that was. I think they're a little bit ahead with all these things. They're a little bit ahead of us.
But
with digital.
Yeah, well, exactly. Do you see the difference right now? Okay, in other way. For you, this is the difference when you start to shooting for the, social media than for the TV. The approach is different. Look, I'm not talking about the aspect ratio, that is the vertical or horizontal.
Yeah, so shooting for social media, for me it's the same. The food needs to look good. Still, you want to have a dynamic move. You always need to shoot slightly wider because you need a vertical format. But I'm not gonna shoot subtly with boring lighting and because it's for social media. No, I mean I have one type of lighting or one style, and I cannot do anything else. Or I think for social media it still needs to look good. I mean, do you shoot it different for social media? I mean, usually
except framing exactly.
Only framing, which I think is for me a lot of times it's terrible because. I mean, what is nice about it's so beautiful, close with a wide angle, close to the food, but then it doesn't match or doesn't fit in 9:16. So it means you need to go wider,
which is not the same.
Which is not the same because basically you shoot it with a longer, and then you need to zoom it in on 16:9, which is actually you shoot it with a longer lens.
Yeah,
less dynamic. So it's a compromise. But
you don't like compromise.
No, but you don't have time to shoot it twice.
Yeah,
especially. I mean, when it's a simple shot, yes, you can shoot it twice. But when it's like a complicated, complex rigging and special effect, and to do it twice, no, sorry.
So I have a feeling that I think we should take a moment to tell what our work looks like. What do your preparations for the shooting look like? Please describe what needs to be done and how to prepare shots in creative way for super appetizing tabletop commercial.
A lot of questions in one. So
we have a time. So I know that you have a conversation with.
Well, I have like a sort of scrapbook where I have lots of screenshots of beautiful things, but it can also be pictures, drawings, but also a lot of screenshots from reels, films, and I'll go through them. And I have categories, chocolate, beauty, ice cream, whatever, and I just go through my shots and then have the storyboard printed, the agency storyboard printed next to it, and I keep looking to the left, to the right. Will this fit? Will that fit? And then you make like, for example, 50 possible shots. And then I put that in a document, and then usually I have a creative call with the agency. Okay, guys, now this is what I propose. This we can do this, and for that shot we can do that. And then, we'll have a creative call and we'll and make the storyboard together. It also depends a little bit on the budget, because you cannot do all these spectacular shots like 10 in a day. So I usually do like 2 or 3 spectacular ones a day, plus a few more normal ones on the second set or on the third set next to it. Because it's impossible to shoot just one set, one camera. That no, I cannot do it. So it's always.
Of course we can, but
we can. But then, you talk to the producer. Oh, we can only do 2 shots a day. No, that. No, I mean, there's so much waiting as well that when you do an explosion or when you do something complicated, you need to clean up. You need to prep for the next take. And while you do that, you just walk over with the camera crew to the second set and shoot there. No, that works perfect.
In this kind of preparation, how are you looking for the appetizing appeal for the shots? Of course, we know everything about the preparation of the rig and the tests, so that everything works well. But where is the tastiness?
Well, usually you look at the shots. So sometimes you can do like a spectacular shot where a block of chocolate is exploding and you see all the dust coming out of it and the camera flies around it. It's like super fantastic and nice to see, but it's not appetizing.
Yeah.
You need the combination then of the chocolate dripping over a block of hard chocolate, or you need those combinations. Then it's fine. So I always say, let's do a few spectacular shots where the herbs are hitting the potato chips or whatever. That's spectacular, but you still need to also have that appetizing shot, which is close, because you cannot have in one film just only spectacular shots. That doesn't. No, you need to have also these subtle, beautiful, close, appetizing shots. So it's a combination of the two. But I always do that together with an art director, with the creative team, and we decided when we do this, then we can do that, and let's then also have that shot, and then in 1 hour you have a storyboard.
Yeah.
Easy as that, with all these references, because it's very hard to sell shots without the references. I mean, you can, but sometimes the reference can be, this is a nice yogurt shot, but we need the same trick for chocolate. So you can use references from something else, and maybe it's never done with chocolate, but let's try it, and then suddenly you have something never seen before. What they love.
I will ask you about this topic a little bit after, but so we have a preparation, we have a shooting, we know what we want to achieve. What is next? When you finish your shooting day here in studio, this is not like over. You need to make a post-production. This is the next step. How to be tasty.
But okay. So then we have the shots, and then I start to design the rigs. So I make drawings of every shot, every rig, what I need, what equipment I need, what pistons I need, or a special effect I need, what cameras I need. That's the next step, so that's for production. And then usually before the shoot, so if it's a 2-day shoot, I probably test 4 days before that, and I will be in the studio non-stop testing everything myself. I have a lot of equipment myself with me. I always, production doesn't like me, but I always have like 90 kilos of equipment with me, lots of little rigs and tiny little clamps and pistons and tricks that I discarded that I made myself. But then it's like 4 days testing at least with a team, and I make sure that everything is tested before we start shooting. That is how I prep a shoot. Mm-hmm. And then of course you shoot. I always insist on having an editor on set, because that makes my life so much easier. Mm-hmm. Clients cannot imagine. So we shoot everything in slow motion. The shot you're looking at on the monitor is 10 seconds, but in the film it's 2 seconds or 1.5. And the client cannot imagine where it's in and out. And if I tell them, it will be a speed change. I mean, this part is boring, but we speed it up. and then it will be fine. Yeah, they cannot imagine. So they are very afraid to move on to the next shot. So you really need to show them exactly how it works in the edit, and then they move on. So editor on set. Yeah.
But do you have some kind of conversation with the client on the set? Oh, we will do it on the post. You know what I mean? So that you have a feeling that some shots are not so perfect. You can make up a little bit on the post. So yes. Well, sometimes,
of course, you need to paint out rigs and cables.
Sure.
That's easy. But also lighting-wise, I do it sometimes. Sometimes when you have an object and it's a little bit dark in front, and the client says, "Yeah, but it's a little bit dark." I said, "Yes, but it's so small. The moment I put some fill there, I fill in the whole image, which is very ugly. It's very easy to pick that part of the shot up, your product or the logo, whatever, and make it a little bit lighter. No worries at all. Digital cameras that work perfectly, and." Because I hate when people overlight it, weet je? So the client wants to see all the shadows. I love shadows.
We have a light, we have a shadow.
Exactly. It belongs to each other. So sometimes I on purpose I keep it a little bit dark, and in post I pick it up and I do a lot of grading as well. So I know exactly what is possible. What I really don't like is when the shot is done and then you switch off the light, or they switch off the light, and then they switch off the fill first, and then, oh shit, it looks much better without that light on. So then basically you overlit it, and you listen too much to the client. Yeah, but it's too dark. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, put then another light there or another fill.
And it's worse and worse. Yeah.
But I know it will be fine and when I really pick it up a little bit in post.
Yeah.
But the clients, but it's too dark on the monitor. Yes, trust me. But that's tough. Yeah, maybe because I was trained as a photographer, and what helped me a lot is I started as a photographer. Well, then I became assistant, and then I became gaffer for a long time, cameraman, and then director cameraman. So, I went through all the lighting departments, so I know a lot about lighting. That helps a lot, especially in tabletop. I mean, almost everything what you shoot slow motion is beautiful.
Yeah, true. You're right.
You see it moving, you see it flexing, you see it bouncing. It's beautiful. It surprises you every time because you never can see it with the naked eye.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like it when something collides and splashes because then I'm surprised by the amazingness of the mother of nature and the gravity. But when I see how AI is starting to progress, I start to wonder, not to worry, what will you and I as directors do in a year? Will you still write on the board of your show in 2025, "I did not use CGI and AI in my commercials"?
I think so, yes. I mean, it's the same with CGI. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, everybody thought, okay, we're out of a business, but it's not. And a lot of times clients are not happy with it because it's not exactly like their product. If I shoot for a very picky client, they're so picky about their product, exactly how the food looks, and I mean, I cannot imagine that AI can produce exactly the olives that they have, and it is impossible. And then also moving. Maybe I'm wrong, probably I'm wrong, but I don't see it happening soon.
Mm-hmm.
And
but do you see the progress of AI or not?
Well, for average stuff, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to do a menu board in a store, maybe you can steal something on AI, but really a high-end shot where it's all about details. I think it's far from perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm agree.
I'm
Stay like
not.
this. It's better
I'm not.
for us,
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid yet. I use it. I mean,
you know, it's good to talk about this one because you know, I see the difference. Like I remember when I discovered AI like half years ago, was like you know the beginning. I'm not worried. This is something new. So, but right, I see that.
Oh yeah,
increase.
it's going. But for photography, it's like whoa.
Yeah, you're
already.
right. Yeah,
photography is like whoa.
True.
Imagine, but then can they fly around it, or can they do it also moving? Probably they can.
Are you using AI as
well,
a reference?
I use it. I used it for creative ideas. So I had to do something with fire and cinnamon because it was fiery, silver, smoky cinnamon or whatever it was. So if you just ask these questions on AI and ask for pictures, something with cinnamon and something with fire, and they came up with very funny things. 90% of it's like super stupid, but 10% was wow. That's a nice angle. Yeah,
you can discover something. You see?
I mean, you can absolutely
like
not use it, but I can.
Yeah,
that's a nice angle. I never thought about that angle, so I draw it and I tested it and it worked. Mm-hmm. So I use it to create ideas. Not I don't use the final result, the final image, but sometimes because it throws things in a cooking pot and it blends it and it comes out funny and weird, and well, why not? Yeah, I never thought about that. And then you use it. So that's how I at the moment use AI, but you never know, maybe it will be there, but not soon, I think, not soon.
We are always talking to each other as directors about the need to create something new in tabletop. We all feel like we are repeating ourselves, as you say. Because the client always say, let's do something that hasn't been done before, but on the other hand, they need a video reference so to see that someone did it or something which was prepared before. We want to pretend to be anyone. Let's be ourselves. This is a future, I think so. Mick Jagger asked by journalists, "You make hit after hit. What is the recipe for a good song?" And Mick Jagger replied that there is no recipe. We are ourselves and it all comes from our heart. Do you have this in your heart all the time?
Yeah, so it's exactly what Mick Jagger said. So it's the constant search for new things never seen before. I mean, there are so many beautiful things that we are doing now. You should not ask the Stones, okay, but Beyoncé is very modern. You should play in the style of Beyoncé. No, it's beautiful. There's such a big audience for the Stones. It's beautiful. That's triggers, and also you too. It's the same, yes, but it still triggers the people's brain. That is nice, and yes, of course, people say, but these shots are done before. Yeah, I know, but it's still beautiful. It makes people eat, and some shots never seen before might not work. It's a constant challenge. But
so let's be yourself. Yeah,
I think let's.
I think this is the answer.
Yeah.
Let's be yourself. Don't look at something different.
No, but I don't want to be. It should not be forced to be different, and then that's not natural. No, that's. I think if you look at my reel, it looks pretty nice. And yes, there are shots done many times before, but it's done in a very nice way. So I'm not so worried.
So in 20 minutes you have a next call with Chinese.
Yes,
do you expect
Chinese
something
friends.
new?
No. To be honest, China. Well, I don't know if I hope they don't listen, but they like to copy. So they send me the board already, and there are so many shots from my reel there. So
be yourself.
That's easy.
Come on. I wish you good luck with the conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ronald,
Thank you.
for the
No
for
worries.
the meeting. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yo.
Good. I know that the podcast is very industry specific, but maybe I'm reaching listeners who don't know anything about our industry. Let me know, I'm very curious about your opinion. I'm waiting for your emails, ideas and information. Please give me your email on podcast@jacekszymański.pl, podcast@jacekszymański.pl. You can also write on Instagram, on my Instagram, Jacek Szymański Food. Thank you, and I hope I will hear from you soon. See you then. Cheers.